Good morning, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to another stream here on the channel. It's Football Fan 148 here, and I am back. And I'm back doing another stream for the channel because today is the Champions League draw. Yeah, the Champions League draw for the of course the quarterfinal / semi-final draw. So yeah, so pretty much this of course be happening right now. So yeah, of course this draw, of course, very big for what's going to be happening, of course, in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. Of course, that's going to be happening, of course, in the next few moments or so. So yeah. Yeah, so of course this is going to be really interesting stuff to see what's going to be happening. So yeah, pretty much, of course, the draw going to be happening in a bit, guys. Of course, just to remind you of the teams we got in there, we got Bayern Munich Benfica, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Manchester City, AC Milan, Napoli, and Real Madrid. And of course, Real Madrid, of course, knocked out Liverpool on Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, great. It's this guy. I'm never too keen on him, really. I'm guessing. Altintop. Of course, Altintop. Of course, he was former Real Madrid player. Was Altintop. I think he also played for Schalke and Bayern Munich as well during his career. Before, of course, he finished it off at Galatasaray. Oh yeah, yeah. Pretty much my thoughts, of course, are with of course Turkey and Syria after what happened with that earthquake. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, how it is going to work, pretty much how of course all this is going to work, of course, because the draw take place, of course, it's taking place right now. No, and of course, pretty much this is an open draw, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently, so it looks like that now. Both teams I meant pretty much teams from the same country can play each other. I mean, like teams like such as AC Milan and Inter Milan, Chelsea and Manchester City. That Napoli, AC Milan, or Napoli, Inter Milan. So it's pretty much possible in this draw. In this draw. So, of course, how the draw, of course, works. Uh, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, also clubs can play against teams that, of course, they did face in the group stage. So Chelsea could play Inter Milan all over again. But no, not Inter Milan, but AC Milan all over again. So yeah, really interesting there. Or was that last season? Hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, we did. Yeah, I'm guessing. Patrick Kluivert. Oh, he was a great player. Of course, scored a few many goals for the likes of Barcelona, Ajax. He was a great player during his career. He really was. Great, great player. Yeah, yeah. It always is new when you played. There's something regarding that. Yeah, yeah. An open draw. This is going to be interesting. Man, this is going to be so interesting. Yep, let's get on with it. Here we go. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to take that banner thing down now, guys. Hang on. And you've seen it long enough. Yeah, just to remind you of the teams, guys. We got Bayern Munich, Benfica, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Manchester City, AC Milan, Benfica, and Napoli. Yeah. Here we go. First team of the quarterfinals. Who is it? First team drawn. And it is... Oh, the holders, Real Madrid. Of course, they beat Liverpool 1-0 at the final, at the chaotic final at the Stade de France last year, beating Liverpool by a goal to 0. So who are Real Madrid facing? Oh! It's Real Madrid versus Chelsea! A pretty much repeat of what happened in last year's competition. Oh, Chelsea, of course, knocked down Dortmund to get here, but this will be a very good match to watch. Okay, it's Inter Milan out next. Inter Milan, of course, former winners. Of course, the last time they won it was like 13 years back in 2010. Okay, so who are they playing? Oh, Inter Milan versus Benfica. Now that's a very good game, I have to admit. That'll be a great game for Benfica. Inter Milan versus Benfica. Great game, that. Great game. Yeah, did really well, Benfica. Oh, of course, Man City, of course, the Premier League holders. Of course, they're currently second in the Premier League. Of course, they were finalists in the 2021 season when, of course, Chelsea beat them in 2021. Of course, they won by 7-0 against Leipzig. Oh, Man City versus Bayern Munich. Oh, what a game this could be. Man City versus Bayern Munich. So it looks like we have got AC Milan versus Napoli for the final final game to be drawn. Yep. Yep. Of course, AC Milan versus Napoli. So that's the quarter-final draw done, guys. So let me just let me remind you, of course, of the quarter-final ties, guys. We've got Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Inter Milan versus Benfica. Manchester City versus Bayern Munich, and AC Milan versus Napoli. Okay, that's the quarterfinals done. Now it's time for the semi-finals. So we see what's going to happen there. So we got first. So that would be AC Milan or Napoli, the winners of the quarterfinal four. That would be the winners of AC Milan versus Napoli. And they'll be playing. And they'll be playing the winners of the quarterfinal two, and that is Benfica versus Inter Milan. So we could potentially have a Milan derby in the semi-finals if, of course, AC Milan and Inter Milan progress from that tie. Of course, the winner of course final one, which of course be Real Madrid or Chelsea, and of course they'll be playing. They'll be playing the winner out of Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. So what a game we could potentially have for semi-final two. We could potentially have an all-English semi-final. Really? They're doing the final as well? That's surprising. Winners of semi-final two, which will be Real Madrid or Chelsea versus Man City or Bayern. And they'll, of course, be playing the winners of semi-final one, which will, of course, be either Benfica or Inter or Milan or Napoli. Yeah. 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 So, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you of the ties we've got. So, we've got, in the quarterfinals, we've got Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Inter Milan versus Benfica, Manchester City versus Bayern Munich, and AC Milan versus Napoli. Yep. 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 So there we go, guys. It's pretty much been decided now. So, there we go. The quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final itself have pretty much been decided. So let's talk about these games that, of course, be happening. Of course, pretty much we've got some big ones. We really have some big ones. I mean, if we look at it, we got Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Benfica versus Inter Milan, Manchester City or Bayern Munich, Napoli and AC Milan versus Napoli. So, yeah, really, really interesting draw, I'd have to say. I mean, definitely have to say, I mean, we got some really big ties there. I mean, Real Madrid versus Chelsea, that will be a cracker. I mean, we see, I mean, is it me or have Bayern Munich or have Chelsea and Real Madrid over the last couple of seasons played each other at least 3 times? Because I remember Chelsea, they played Real Madrid in the semi-finals when Chelsea beat Real Madrid by, I think we beat them 2-0 in the second leg after drawing the first leg 1-1. And really, of course, allowed us to progress to the final where we beat Man City. Where, of course, last year we didn't exactly get so lucky. We got a bit unlucky, really, guys. I mean, we came out of it. I think it was like a 0-0 draw. No, it wasn't 0-0 draw. I meant, yeah, officially the first leg, it finished like 3-0 to Real Madrid, and then the second leg in the quarterfinals was I think 3-3. Yeah, so pretty much. Oh, it was actually 3-2 actually there. Oh, right. Yeah, I completely got my scores wrong, guys. It was actually 3-1 at Stamford Bridge, where, of course, Chelsea, of course, beat Real Madrid 3-2, but then, of course, went out on aggregate 5-4. So, yeah, that is pretty much the... Of course, really, that is pretty much everything sorted out there. So, of course, let's have a look at the other one. Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. I think the last time those two sides each other. I'm not exactly sure when the last time was they did play Bayern Munich. I think the last time they did it, probably in the group stages a few years back. Yeah, because pretty much the last time Man City played Bayern Munich was in a pre-season friendly. Back in July of last year, where of course they beat Bayern by 1-0 then. But the last time they played each other in the Champions League was, of course, back in 2014 when Manchester City beat Bayern Munich by 3-2, despite Bayern Munich being down to 10 men in that game. So that's the last time those two sides played each other. But really, another one that's big is, of course, AC Milan versus Napoli. Of course, those two would have played each other many times throughout the course of this season. But I don't think they've actually played each other in the Champions League before now. Of course, those two have played each other in Serie A before now. Yeah, so pretty much the last 5 games only between these two, they've played each other quite a lot of games. Officially, those two, they have played each other a total of 31 times, with Napoli winning 13, Inter Milan winning 7, and 11 draws in between. This will be their 32nd meeting, I think. Yeah. And Benfica versus Inter Milan, that would be a great game. I mean, if you look at the two squads that those two have got, I think it's definitely going to be making a very competitive fixture, and I think the same can be said again, really, for pretty much all of the games. I mean, there'll be great competitive fixtures. I mean, if you look at the squads all these teams have got, I think you'll definitely be making these 4 ties. They'll be making them even more competitive. I mean, it will be an absolute great game to watch over the course of this season, really. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what on earth really happens in the draw. Really, it would be so interesting to see what happens there. Of course, to remind you guys, that of course the way how this all works now regarding AC Milan and Inter Milan is because AC Milan and Inter Milan, they share the same stadium for home matches and cannot play on the same night, nor at home within 24 hours. Inter Milan's quarterfinal tie with Benfica was reversed, so it looks like it'll be Benfica versus Inter Milan instead of Inter Milan versus Benfica. So yeah, pretty much the reason because of this. So Inter Milan's quarterfinal tie with Benfica was reversed, and AC Milan, as of course the champions of Serie A, had priority. So that's why, of course, they'll be using the stadium at home first before Inter Milan do. But of course, let me just remind you guys that of course these quarter-final ties, they'll be taking place on the 11th and 12th of April, with the second legs taking place on the 18th and 19th of April, pretty much a week within each other. Yeah, so yeah, and of course a reminder of the semi-finals, which we've got Milan or Napoli versus Inter Milan or Benfica, and of course we've got Manchester Madrid. We got Real Madrid or Chelsea versus Manchester City or Bayern Munich. Of course, those semi-final matches, they'll be played on the with the first legs to be played on the 9th and 10th of May, and then the second legs on the 16th and 17th of May. Of course, the final, of course, taking place on the 10th of June. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to be signing off here. Thank you all very much for watching. Of course, that was a really interesting Champions League draw. I hope we get some really exciting and thrilling games out of these ones that were drawn today. Yeah, and I think definitely they will be thrilling, plus intense games to watch. But really, this is the Champions League. This is why it's the greatest club competition in Europe. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. But for now, this is Football Fan 148 signing off. I'll see you later, guys. See you guys.